Folks, hello and welcome back to the Naren Agarwal Show. Today's episode is with somebody who is a good money man. Well, if you don't understand what I'm saying, this guy is an author. He authored the book, Little Book on Financial Clarity. He is also an entrepreneur. He's in the business of financial services, super passionate about financial literacy. He's a certified financial planner and he's a chartered wealth manager. With me, I have Mr. Pawan Agarwal on the show. Pawan, how are you doing?
I'm doing super, Naren. Your jacket is looking really nice.
Hey, thanks, man. I love these, Bundy or Nehru jackets, as they call it. Um, and I have kind of different colors that I put on.
Super,
Thank you.
super.
Pawan, bro, I forgot to also mention one thing. You're also Six Sigma Lean, whatever that certification
That
is.
is Six Sigma belt.
Six Sigma belt by KPMG, and you're a black belt in that, right? Is that martial arts?
Yeah.
What is it?
So you don't learn how to fight, but you learn how to fight through the systems and make sure that your operations are running super.
Yeah.
So there's green belt and there's black belt.
Okay.
So that I did during my lockdown. जब
Okay.
मेरा क्या पूरे देश का lockdown चल रहा था, and I wanted to improve myself and my company. So I was finding ways how can I improve and deliver better efficiency to my clients. So that's how I stumbled upon KPMG Six Sigma course.
Wow. How was that? What was that course about? And did you
So
enjoy it?
it was very nice. So KPMG has this division where they provide Six Sigma certifications so that people learn. And if you have that certificate, you can also, someday if you are applying in KPMG, I'm sure you must know about KPMG. It's a big four company. So they already have that talent spread out. And that course, if I have to tell you in a very short way, that course is about operations and efficiency. So Six Sigma is a concept where you have 99% or more efficiency in your manufacturing. So I'm in services business, but it's always good to know the concept. I have a lot of clients who are in manufacturing. So, I can exchange ideas with them.
Correct.
And add value in whatsoever way to them.
Nice. Superb. Thank you for sharing that. I want to talk to you about authoring and becoming an author. So, what inspired you to become an author, and how was writing a whole book about something that you're very passionate about?
Mm-hmm. So I joined my father's business, this Good Money Man. It was started by him in 2011, and I joined in 2013. So I was in my college days at that time. I just completed my school and I joined my father's business. So over the years, I met with people, and let's say you meet me. Pawan bhai, take care of my investments and everything, and we have a good chat. We are aligned.
Right.
We do that. But what I saw, person after person, client after client, that few basic things, या जो स्कूल में पढ़ा सकते हैं, या जो एक बेसिक फाइनेंशियल एप्टीट्यूड बोल लो या फाइनेंशियल आईक्यू बोल लो, वो भी समवेयर आई फाउंड मिसिंग. एंड व्हेनेवर आई शेयर दैट थिंग विद माय क्लाइंट, दे वर शॉक्ड. यार, दिस इज सच अ सिंपल थिंग. हाउ कम आई डोंट नो एंड यू नो? So year after year, and trust me, I have clients who are from IIMs and IITs and people who have done their graduation, post-graduation from US, UK.
Wow.
Highly qualified. They are at the top
Brilliantly
level of their
educated. Yeah.
company. But when it comes to personal finance, lacking. They don't know what emergency fund is. I mean, they don't need definition of emergency fund, but they don't know how to go about it or how to start it. So the idea of the book, it started when I got engaged. So my wife, she was working with Google at that point of time. And of course, we got engaged. So we were talking about my work, her work. And she was really amazed. So she is also a graduate from DU.
Okay.
So you can imagine
Delhi University.
99%. But she also felt this gap. And she was working in social sector with Google. So it was her idea. Pawan, can we do something about it? Because this is a huge gap. My friends have this gap, her friends. So is there something that can we do? So I always thought, chalo, we'll write a blog or something.
Correct.
But discussing with her, and she has a writing background. She has written several research papers in collaboration with universities in UK, US.
Wow.
So she said that why don't we find a sort of permanent solution that whosoever comes in our life, we can give them something, a manual of some sort, or I don't know. It was I'm talking about last year. We were not sure that we'll write a book.
Correct.
So we discussed. I thought, like, it's very simple. Let's write a book.
Ah, nice.
And she was not confident about it. तो
Yeah.
आपने तो नरेन भाई व्यापारी है कुछ डिसाइड किया तो अब करना है but she was thoda sa skeptical ki how will we write a book, we are not authors. I'm like, yeah, what will happen? Publish nahi hogi, we'll get
Correct.
rejected, that's it. No, that's the most that can happen.
Correct.
So with that idea we set out on this book writing journey.
Amazing.
All we want to do is help people, and we also decided that we will not make this book profitable. So just to tell you and your audience that any book that we sell, the entire money is donated to Karyashala Foundation in Delhi. They
Wow.
work in uplifting women by providing them employment. So
Wow.
we do it just for the sake of financial literacy and the social cause that we both are attached to.
Wow. I know we've had conversations in person about you being very vocal and passionate about financial literacy, especially with women. Why is this cause so important to you and your wife? And why do you guys, you know, feel like you need to serve in this area? I definitely know, but I want to
I
hear your
mean, look
perspective.
around. I'll tell you, look around, Naren. You will see at your house, at your office, at your friend's place, colleges, schools, anywhere, whenever it comes to money, achanak se you will see that some male or some man is taking charge of it.
Yeah, especially in
Women,
India. Yeah.
especially in India, women are making a lot of money. Things are changing every year. Things are changing. More women are coming. More women are joining. I'm sure in your organization as well.
Correct.
20 years पहले आपके अगर पूरे ऑफिस में अगर 2 women employees थे, I think आज 10 होंगे.
Correct.
But when it comes to their personal finance, they rely on their husband, their brother, their father. Somehow they think, I'm not good enough. So I want to change that statement. I want everybody to say, boss, if I am earning, I am so smart. Women are so smart. They are earning, right? They should also take charge of their finances.
Financial planning and how to
Financial
use that
planning.
earning. Yeah.
Financial planning, they should not think that insurance is not my subject. Investment is not my subject. I have to rely on my father for this consultation or something like that. They should know, ki, boss, there is somebody who is spreading this message. And with the Google era and everything, you can go online, search, research, find out, and then do it. यार हम men जो अभी चार्ज दे रहे हैं वो भी तो ऐसे ही सीखे ना, कोई सीख के तो नहीं आया.
Correct.
They also did some mistakes. They also lost some money here, there, and they did it. So why can't women do it?
Wow. This is my next question. So let's say to the women who are hearing it and other people who want to get more financial literacy, what's like a basic formula or a format that you ask them? Of course, we cannot go into detail because it's a short podcast. And everyone's life is very personal and they have personal goals. But what's kind of this template or a charter that you can share with us that it fits in their mind and their mental map?
See, if you go through my book, no, the first chapter, the most basic thing that I would say anybody should have is a provision or a plan for emergency funding. I'm sure after COVID, everybody realizes that anything can happen anytime.
Correct.
So do you have, Chalo, I'll ask you this. So do you have 6 to 12 months of your basic necessities money parked somewhere where you can take it out tomorrow?
Correct.
Do you have it?
Personally, I do more than 6 to 12 months, but
Yes.
So
exactly. But you see, now how many individuals, how many women, how many men, they just know, ki, boss, this money that is put aside here, this is for the rainy day. I
Correct.
don't have to go to anybody else. I'll just click on a single button and this money will come into my account. So you have to build your emergency corpus. This is what we ask our clients to do.
So true.
So this is one of the most basic things that you can start. Once you have your emergency corpus ready, you can start very simple basic things by writing down your goals. The problem when it comes to money management, they don't know what to do with their money. कि बॉस पैसा तो आ रहा है, but अब इसका करे क्या?
What to do with it?
Exactly. So it's like Monday to Friday work, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday party, and you will see everybody is in the rat race with credit cards, with more loans, with house loans, with car loans, with EMI. So this circle never stops.
Correct.
But if you have a proper financial planning, you can get rid of the entire rat race. So
Yeah.
for your viewers, if you really want to, get on this path, read this brilliant book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It shifts your mind. You start thinking on the lines of asset, on the lines of building income sources, income revenues. How do you generate money? Why you should pay yourself first and not pay your car EMI. So this is one of the most recommended books.
That's amazing, man. I read that book like years ago when I was in school, and every time if I come across something or the
Reread
other,
it.
and
Read it
people
again.
have read it and you've probably heard of it before, but if you reread it, it's gonna like shift your perspective.
Exactly. Reread it. Some books, these are like prime time. You have to just keep reading them again. It just clarifies your concept.
Yeah, it's like the Bollywood movie Sholay, you can keep watching it again and again, it's classic every time.
Correct.
Another book that I personally found was really amazing for somebody who's like absolute basic is called The Richest Man of Babylon.
Oh, beautiful.
Simple book, small pager. It's like almost like a story book, but on investment. And it's just like the basics are just
Very
so
basic.
solid there.
Very basic. It's a very light read. So you get the basic concepts of financial planning clear. But see, the problem is you read a book. So I'll tell you why we wrote our book. Books to pehle bhi the, Naren.
Correct.
So books the, you will read it. You read Rich Dad Poor Dad. फिर क्या हुआ? Was
I
there
went on to
any
college.
actionable plan? Was there any actionable plan?
No.
So if you read my book, you will see it's broken down into days. Because day 1, you have to do this, day 2, day 3, day 4. And then you have Google Sheet ka links attached there. Open that link. So there's homework if you read my book. I know it's a lot of pain.
This is awesome.
But you feel you have to fill those sheets. Once you fill those sheets, you have numbers in front of you. You know how we say, in God we trust, but for all others we need numbers? Because that's the same thing for personal finance.
Correct.
I only believe in numbers. You tell me that you make a lot of money, I won't believe until I see it on the Google sheet. How much are you saving? Where is your expense? You don't know. You might have certain leaks that you can't even recognize.
Correct.
So जब आप उसको भरोगे ना, clarity.
Wow. So brother, I just want to backtrack a little bit and ask you about the emergency fund. So let's say somebody right now, they are having you said emergency fund is important. What's one action they can take now to start building that fund?
Just decide, ki boss, this is how much money I need every month for my basic amenities.
Okay.
Multiply it into 6 to 12 depending on your lifestyle. 6 to 12. We generally ask our clients to do it into 12 because jitna safe utna badhiya. Now you come to amount. Let's say let's do it very simple. Let's say you need 1 lakh every month for your basic amenities.
Correct.
12 mahine ka kitna hua? 12 lakh.
12 lakhs. Correct.
12 lakhs. Now, do you have 12 lakhs right now to invest? No, generally people don't have it.
Most people won't have it immediately.
Most people won't have it. So you see, I need 12 lakhs. Now, what is your salary? Let's say if your basic expenses is 1 lakh, so I will assume your salary is somewhere between 2-3 lakhs.
Correct.
So you decide every month that you need to put aside 50,000. Simple, small. See, the problem is as soon as you see 12 lakhs, you will be from 12 lakh. How do I get it? No, that is the goal. But you start with 10,000 every month. 10 to 50, that's the bracket. Start a simple SIP in a liquid fund and start putting money aside. Now you tell me, if you put aside 50,000 every month, kitna time laga 12 lakh mein?
50,000, 24 months.
24 months. See, after 2 years, you have that. But abhi, you're not even thinking about it.
Correct.
After 2 years, now you have that comfort. Ki, boss, I don't need to worry. My family is safe. People who are working in corporate, they don't need to be scared ki yaar kal job chala jaye, parso job chala jaye. They become bold. They know, yaar, I have money for 12 months. I can go. I can look out for better jobs.
I can take risks in life. I can go for better.
They take risks. Imagine how much this empowers them. So it's very simple. You just need to write down your basic amenities expense, multiply it into 12, and decide an uncomfortable amount. Mind it, I'm telling you, uncomfortable amount that you can put aside every month. Because comfort mein there's no growth. If your salary is 4-5 lakhs and you say, yeah, I'll put aside 10,000, not good enough.
That's not
You
good.
have to put aside 50,000. You have to
Correct.
make yourself uncomfortable. Because वो
Correct.
पैसा रहेगा ना, you'll buy a new phone that
Yeah.
you don't need.
Correct.
You'll
Today's
get a
pain
bigger
is
car.
tomorrow's gain. You got to compromise a
Yes, so
little
you'll
bit
buy a
today.
bigger car, but you will not put
Correct.
aside money for the rainy day.
Brother, so what for me, what really worked and what I realized was that, as you said exactly, to cut off, take a shave, it's almost like a tax cut. Like it's if the government was asking you money, you would have to pay it, right? The tax you have to pay it. Just like that, I think, okay, this money I have to put in my SIP. It's like a tax cut. I can't do anything about it. And the secret that worked for me was doing it in the
Exactly.
beginning of the month. When like I get cash inflows, I do it right away. Because if you wait till the end of the month, what I noticed with me is there was not enough savings. Only when I gave myself a tax cut, self tax cut for the SIP, then it worked. But if I waited till the end of the month, it didn't work.
I'll tell you something very interesting. You know, this idea, which company has understood this idea very nicely? I'll
Which
tell you. The
company?
answer is Netflix.
Netflix. Ah,
Now look at their model. They don't say पूरा साल का पैसा एक बार में दे.
correct.
They will say इस महीने का इतना. And generally, everybody puts their Netflix renewal date or something of that sort in the beginning of the month because that's when the salary comes in. Now, month on month, they take their cut. So they are very clear and sorted. Now, imagine somebody who's paying Netflix. How difficult is it to start an emergency fund SIP? It's not. But Netflix understands this model. But you and me, the common person, he doesn't.
Wow, that's very interesting, bro. And that's
See,
very nice.
Netflix does it. No, that's
Correct.
good.
Amazing. So we're doing this, we're building the emergency fund, and then you said write a goal and work towards that goal. So now when you've saved and you have the emergency fund, then you probably look at achieving your bigger goals, right? In life.
No, so yeah, exactly. So once you have that comfort of emergency fund, now what is a common man's most important goal? I'm talking about somebody who is 30, who has 2 kids, who's working in job. Now, what's the most important thing for that person?
For that person, it might be
Children's future.
yeah, the child's future and education.
Child's future. He needs to plan for the education. So if
Correct.
you look in US, planning for a child's education is really a big thing because it's so expensive there. But again, in India, there's no awareness about it. People
Correct.
don't realize that inflation is real. Today's money, if it's worth 100 rupees, you don't know what it's going to be worth 20 years when your child will be going to the college.
Correct.
You don't plan for it. They don't realize because 20 years later, my son, my daughter, she's going into an IIT, IIM, I don't know, US, UK, Russia, wherever. But have you really thought about it? You know, so if today a good education is costing 20, 30 lakhs, after 20 years, it can be 50 lakhs. So you need to start planning for that. You decide if you have 2 kids, 50 lakhs for each. So you need to plan that abhi se. Because if you're a businessman, after 20 years, taking money out from a business, again, that's a challenge.
Yes.
Because your business might not have the cash ready. If you're working in a corporate, you're working, if your job. So again, arranging 1 crore, it's difficult.
Yeah,
But
and
if
then
you
maybe you have
can
to
do it
go
slowly,
ask for a loan and pay a huge interest on that loan.
exactly. So it's not needed.
Yeah.
If you just plan thoda sa pehle, it's not needed.
Correct. And plus the money that you'll be putting in from now, it'll be compounding. So
Compounding.
essentially you'll be getting free money, right? Would you like to speak more about compounding and the power of compounding?
Yes, I tell you, anybody talks about compounding. So, just my school days come to me. I think the most important thing for life that was taught in our school was the concept of compounding, and nobody understood it. So, in class 8, in maths, they teach you the science of compound interest, but they just make you do tens and 20 sums and everything. They don't explain you that
So dry.
life is a compounding game.
Wow. Okay.
So everything in life, I mean, you just look at your life, whatever you have been doing, everything is a compounding game. You just do little improvements every day, and by the end of the year, you will be a whole different person. You put your money into SIP, into mutual funds, just small money every year. it will become so huge you cannot imagine. So I'll give you one example. So if an individual puts aside 15,000 per month for 15 years, he puts aside 22 lakh rupees somewhere, 22 lakh 50,000. Can you imagine the value after 15 years? It's close to 1 CR.
1 crore.
1 crore.
Yeah.
Thanks to the power of compounding, 22 lakh that you put aside becomes 1 crore.
Essentially, it becomes 4 times just because of the compounding.
Just because of the compounding, just because time is the biggest asset that that person has. So when anybody talks about compounding, I just get reminded of my school days. Okay, they taught the most important thing, but they did not stress enough on it. They did not talk about the practicality about it.
Nice, bro. So when you were talking about compounding, it also made me realize, like, in that sense, even emotional effort that you need to put to put the investment, you said, the money does not matter, just some amount that's uncomfortable. If you keep putting that effort every month, your ability to save and your confidence to save and your willingness to save and invest also goes up, right? Even that compounds, so it becomes very easy. Like, it's so easy for me right now. When I started in the beginning, it was a little painful, every month. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm
I
investing.
said you have to make yourself uncomfortable at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And that also compounds. That feeling of saving and that emotional strength also compounds, right? You go to the gym, you keep working out every day, and your muscles grow like crazy. Compounding. It's very interesting how you pointed this out, and it's really, compounding is everywhere in life.
So there's this beautiful book called The Compound Effect.
Hmm.
You and the viewers can go out, check it out. It's a beautiful book. It talks about compounding in relationship, in your day-to-day life. You don't realize that today the person that you are is the effect of compounding that has been happening for years and years and years. So that's it. Everything in life is a compounding game.
Yeah. Karma. Karma in sense is
That's a
compounding.
whole different topic.
Karma in a
Naren, we
sense is
start talking
compounding,
about
right? The
it.
kind of actions you keep doing, it'll come back to you in a bigger
Exactly.
and
So,
yeah.
relating compounding to karma and everything, that's you'll need to do a different podcast for that. That's again a very big topic. But see,
Wow.
you will realize it. Compounding is just part of everyday life.
Correct. Brother, I want to ask you a question further. What are some biggest mistakes people are doing right now in their financial journey? So one thing is they're not having emergency funds. What other things are they doing that's a huge mistake according to you, a red flag?
So, and the more I encounter, there is this certain aversion when it comes to financial planning or talking about their finances. Now, I don't understand, but it's so deeply rooted. If I don't know if they're fearful or they just don't want to plan, because the moment you put pen to paper, you have to write things. And I think this scares them. But this is the biggest step that you have to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, write it. Write what you want, write how much you want, write how much you want to save, write the kind of future you want to create for yourself. Like I mentioned, emergency fund. People don't do the basic budgeting. Now, I'm not saying ki, become pura conjuice and don't spend anything, but you should know where your money is going, right? The moment you start identifying, you will see whether it's necessary or it's not. So you have to start with basic budgeting, the B word people don't like.
Hmm.
So it's not what you think,
Budgeting.
it's
Yeah.
budgeting.
Correct.
So you need to think about budgeting. Now I don't, like I said, I don't want you to cut down all your fancy parties and all those fun. Do it, but do it consciously. Know that I
Hmm.
am spending 50,000 on this party. Know before you spend it. Plan it. Plan your spendings. You plan your day. You plan your year. Why not plan your spendings and plan your investments? It's as simple as that. So one thing that people run away from, one mistake they do, they don't plan their budgets.
Wow. Okay. So planning a budget. So having emergency fund and planning a budget, very important.
I mean, people do it in their companies. I'm sure you run a company. Do you run
Correct.
your company without any financial management?
Nope.
I'm sure every
We
year,
have financial
every
management.
month, there is a budget dedicated to the finance team. So everybody
Correct.
does it. But when it comes to personal finance, people don't. So again, so I'll tell you the third mistake that people do: they don't speak with their partner about money.
And that's
They
something
don't
you've
speak
noticed while
about,
talking and hearing so
yes,
many people.
yes. So they don't speak about money. They don't speak about their credit cards, their loans. They don't speak about their money beliefs. You won't, realize, or you won't believe me, but this entire system of money belief, talking, discussing, you will be shocked what kind of clarity it brings to people's life. We two are interacting. You might have an entire different mindset when it comes to money, and I might have a different mindset. But when you are, in a relationship, when you're married, you need to remove those distances and speak freely about money. You need to share
Wow.
how you feel.
Wow. That's very, very powerful, man. It's actually it's like lighting up a bulb in my head because in the past few years I went through some interactions and I did some courses and I realized this thing called money belief. Like we actually have a money belief, right? Money can come easily.
Yes,
You need a lot of hard work to come money. Some people think money is very easy to earn, right? And when you encounter people in relationship, even in friendships,
exactly.
everybody has their own money belief they're coming from, and that causes conflict, right? Let's say two friends meet. One says, hey, let's go to party there, and the other says, no, let's go to party there. One friend might be coming from a different money belief and how much money they want to spend, and the other
Correct.
one from a different
So
money belief.
I'll tell you one good story, one short
Please,
story,
please, please.
ki how money beliefs work, and you will be
Hmm.
amazed once you look around and the more. Let's say there's this girl, her name is Kangana, okay? And when she was 4 years old, she summer days and she wanted to have ice cream. तो जब भी घर के बाहर से आइसक्रीम वाला गुजरता, she used to run up to her mom कि mom मेरे को पैसे दो, I need to buy this ice
Yeah, I
cream.
want to have ice cream. Yeah.
And I have a very simple thing. अब उसकी मम्मी क्या करती, वो एक सिंपल बात बोलती कि बेटा मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, जाके पापा से ले लो. सिंपल. आपके घर पे भी कभी हुआ होगा.
Correct.
Now this girl goes to her dad. She takes money from him. She goes. Now when this happens for 10 times, 20 times, she gets this belief system that मेरी जो mom है, जो house runner है, she doesn't have money. Dad has money. See, it shifts. The female of the house doesn't have money. She doesn't manage money. The male of the house manages money. He has money. You won't believe the kind it grows when you grow up. Simple statement, simple thing, it has happened anywhere, but you won't believe this builds the money belief. The way your parents interacted with you about money. If they said statements like this, ki, Naren, don't spend money, making money is hard, you don't know, you will have to work really hard. So consciously, subconsciously, you will have this thing in your mind. You will tell this to your friends, you will tell this to your children someday.
This is really, really, really amazing that you're sharing this because a lot of us, we grew up in this middle class mindset, and the middle class is notorious for having very negative money beliefs. So we grew up with a lot of negative money beliefs, right? In middle class, like earning money is very hard, or I think this is very important. Like being rich, you almost have to be evil to be rich. Like
Exactly,
if you're
but
rich, you
it's not
can't you
like
can't be a
that.
good
Look at
person.
all the big charities. It's run by millionaires and billionaires.
Exactly.
There is this 99% club where people are coming up and donating 99% of their wealth. So it's not evil, it's what you think. So what I tell, don't focus on spending, focus on earning. Because I ask people to budget, so they're like, no, this is a negative. I'm not asking you to just focus there and control your expenses. I'm asking you to be aware about it. I'm asking you to be conscious about it. But your focus, it should always be on earning mode.
Wow, this is amazing. So Pawan, what is a money belief that you have tried to ask others to have, and what's a powerful money belief to take on for people who are listening right now? And also, I'm curious to know from you.
I believe in abundance. I don't, when I talk about money beliefs, they again try to put numbers to it. Don't put numbers to it, put feelings and emotions to it. So, one money belief that I have, see, my abundance is very different from yours, and your abundance will be very different from your brother's, or
Correct.
maybe from your wife or from your sister, right? Everybody has their own definition of abundance. So,
Correct.
what I ask my friends, my family, anybody I interact with, just make sure that you have that feeling of abundance. say it out loud to the universe that yes, I am abundant. And you and only you can describe your abundance.
Yeah.
You can describe the limit of your happiness and the limit of the wealth that will make you happy. So
Wow.
just decide it for yourself and then just declare it that yes, I am abundant today, and you're sorted. That's all you need, right?
Wonderful. This guy called Ken Honda, he's a Japanese guy, and I took a course with him and attended some of his talks. He talks something about money EQ. So when it comes to money, all of us we get fixated on the IQ part of it, intelligence quotient, the planning, the budgeting, this that's important. But what you said is also important with the money is EQ, the emotional quotient. Just the planning and budgeting part with no
Exactly.
altered beliefs and no altered emotions will not give us the result. And so he instills this practice, and I've practiced it sometimes. I wish I do it more regularly. He says every time you spend money or every time you get money, you say arigato, which is thank you for in Japanese. So he calls it the arigato technique. So every time you spend or receive, you say thank you. Because you say thank you because I had the ability and the power to spend, and every time you receive that, you receive more abundance. And so it ties in so well with what you are saying, that abundant belief, that changing the
Exactly.
emotion.
So there's this great book that I like to recommend to all your viewers also, The Secret of a Millionaire Mind.
Hmm.
Read that book. There's one very simple exercise that that person asks you to do every day. Just touch your mind and say that I have a millionaire mind.
I have a billionaire mind. Nice.
As simple as that.
That's the practice that he says, huh? Every day.
It's a practice. You just tell your entire system that yes, your entire system is aligned of you being a millionaire, a billionaire.
Yeah, I think millionaire is getting like kind of easy these days. I think we got to go for a billionaire, is it? Wow, wow, wow. Pawan, bro, what's been a very like shaking story that you saw and a transformation because somebody went through a financial planning process through you? Would you like to share a story like that?
Let me think about it. So I'll tell you one story. So I have this friend named I cannot disclose. पहले तो friend and then you know client. So client confidentiality thing. But this friend works for government. She's in a government service and she's an IS officer. Imagine IS, they know a lot about a lot of things.
Correct.
She was struggling with her finances so bad. She bought my book. She did all the tasks of the daily things one, two, three, four, and in just 2 weeks, I get a call from her, ekdam out of the blue, and she's like, "Bro, what have you done?" I'm like, I don't understand. Kya hua?
What
She's
happened?
like,
Yeah.
my entire financial planning has changed. So in this book, there's thing called goal mapping, goal tool, where you just put down simple goals based on your wants, needs, necessity, and then short term, medium term, and long term. Now, all of a sudden, it's a very simple thing, right? You hear it, you think it's very simple. But the moment you put all the goals there, what is your long term, immediate goal? What is your long term, medium term goal? You realize that the race that you are in, maybe you don't have to be in that race. You can think about it. So I was thinking, अच्छा ठीक है चलो this goal thing helped you, but then what next? Like she's not married, but she said, I'm not married, I don't have kids. But all of a sudden, I know because there's a thing for retirement also. Now she's thinking that who thinks about a retirement at the age of 20, 29? But now I'm thinking the kind of retirement I want, the kind of retirement house I want. Maybe I don't want to work till I'm 60. Because I'm thinking early, I can retire at the age of 50 and I can go and travel.
Yeah.
So I think that was a major transformation that I saw happening. Fair, I'll tell you one more story. So I have a very good friend here. Again, because of the client confidentiality, I cannot mention his name. So he asked me to do a seminar for his employees, for his factory workers and everything. On if you can, just enlighten them about savings, and we showed them a very good movie about why savings is important and how in your old age your children may not support you, but the money that you have put aside will support you. So we did this small 1.5 hour session with them. And after that session, the kind of feedback that I got, nobody told us about this. Nobody told that, my kids, yeah, this is true. They see it all around that certain kids don't support their family, don't support their parents. But nobody told it to their face. And like, sir, you told it to us. We spend our entire money on the children, but from this month, we'll start putting aside few hundred, few thousand rupees for ourselves. So I think these two stories, and the second one, on a much more serious level, which brought me satisfaction, was you feel that yes, you are reaching out to people, you are spreading that message of why it's important. You have to look out your first. You have to look out for yourself.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing the story. And it sounds like the book can be really put into action. And it sounds like the way you designed the book was so that people can go and take action. This is amazing.
Exactly.
Bro. So one last question for you. What is one thing that you would like to say in the end to summarize everything, or some last bit that's left, so that people go with a certain mindset and they can look at their personal finances and financial planning better, especially the women that are listening to this?
So I'll tell you something very easy, very simple, something that I believe in. When it comes to investing, I don't know what your question is, but the answer is mutual fund. It's as simple as that.
That's the answer. You don't have to worry about the question.
You don't have to worry about anything. Maybe you are a person who's worth crores, maybe you're just starting out. It doesn't matter. The answer, a no-brainer, very simple, is mutual funds. Sip karo, mast raho.
My friend, he's a big believer, and I am also a big believer in mutual funds, a specific kind of mutual funds, index funds. I'm an index funds guy. So I put
that is again a different story, that why India is still not ready for index funds.
Is it? Okay.
Because in India there is a scope where you can generate and beat the index.
Yeah,
you can
that is correct. Like maybe we'll have this conversation off air, but I'm a big believer in index funds. And my friend and I have this phrase, index and chill. So you're saying, like, sip and
as long as
Yeah.
you're investing and planning, I'm very happy. But there's always scope, at least in India, for the next 15-20 years, that the money managers, they can beat index and they can fetch you better returns. So maybe maybe you should go out, explore more, learn more, and find out different ways that you can beat the index. Now, this is not for your viewers who have not started investing. This is only for Naren, who says that he has been investing for quite a few years and has a good control over it. But this is not for everybody.
Well, thank you for sharing that personal tip. That leaves me with one actionable to discover and talk to you more about the other kinds of mutual funds and stuff. And I do see bigger returns, but anyways, I have my own reason, and maybe I'll reflect that with you, why index and why not the others. But it was great having you on the show. It was great learning about your book writing journey. What an amazing thing to do, man. You thought, okay, want to empower women? Write a book. Writing a book is simple. Let's do it. Like it's just any thing. Like
no, but bread. On a very serious note, credit goes to Shivani, because she really helped me. I had the concepts, but putting them into words and paragraphs. So in our entire courtship, this is what we did. Wow. We were up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We were working, collaborating on Google Docs. We were writing this book. So entire courtship period of my engagement, we did this. Tell me, you launched the book on your marriage. Oh, yes. Oh, is it? Whoa, what a story, man. This is amazing. Yes, so it was launched on the day of my wedding. Wow, yes. Man, this is crazy. What a story. We should have covered this in the beginning. Get engaged, write a book during a courtship period, launch it in the marriage. What couple goals? Let's make it happen. Amazing, man.
Pawan, bro, so good to talk to you. Thank you for enlightening us.
It was an absolute pleasure to be here, Naren. Thank you so much for having me.
And maybe in the future we'll record a deeper session, etc., on more specifics. And
absolutely happy to help, happy to give you more guidance and help your audience.
Cheers. Hello and welcome again. I hope you really enjoyed this podcast. If you did, share it with one person that you can help. Jisko isse madad mile. And if you like this podcast, you want such more insightful information and knowledge, check out the other podcasts right here. I will see you very soon in another episode.